streets.
Ask the streets. Ask the streets.
I like that one.
Whoa, live and direct, nigga. Shot sound, put your seeds on. The Blackstones love me, the gangsta niggas love me, the Vice Lords love me, and the Foe niggas love me, the MCs love me, the BDs love me, the Latin Dragon and the Latin King niggas love me, the whole niggas love me, the real niggas love me, the fake niggas love me, and the real niggas love me, the soul niggas love me, the cold niggas love me, the west side and the low niggas love me. I'm a beast.
Nigga, check my pedigree. Talk slick, ass kick. Watch what you say to me. Ask around all over town. Niggas say the same shit. Leave your black eyed, and this ain't just some shit I came with. Go get a wig splitter. I'm a fucking real nigga. Fuck what you saying, motherfucker. How you feel, nigga? Villains to the right of me, villains to the left of me. This organized crime shit is gonna be the death of me. I don't care what hood you claim, or even if you gang bang. It's money, clothes, hoes, nigga. Go.
It was good, fella. We back in the building, man. I got Major Barnes in the building with me, man.
Major Barnes.
Major Barnes. Yes, sir. Listen, we gonna deal with the blood over intent now. And this is something I've been hearing about. So first of all, let's just go ahead and give everybody a breakdown of exactly what is and what it means by blood over intent.
Blood over intent. Blood over intent. Let me see. The basic way, the best way I could put this, and I'll break it down for everybody, would be blood over intent is like raising your hand and talk to your teacher. You understand what I'm saying? Like when we pray, let's think about it in like a normal things that we do. Whenever we pray, understand there's millions of prayers going out at one time. God is a dope motherfucker. There's millions of prayers going out at one time. From his children and from those that are not his children that think they're his children. Probably way more people think they're his children are actually his children too. But all that's going out there, and there's only a few people going, hey. You know what I'm saying? If you notice, everybody in the Bible, God knew by their blood. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Even the Bible itself, the story is a story of a bloodline. Holy Grail. That they said that the thing that had the cup that kept Jesus' blood, or it was either that or the cup at the Last Supper, whichever story you believe in. The Holy Grail, the actual term for it was sangriel, which was holy blood.
Okay.
It's all about the blood. The Holy Communion was take of my blood. I mean, to take of this wine. It is my blood. You understand what I'm saying? So blood, God recognizes the blood. When Cain killed Abel, he didn't say, where's your brother? I know you killed him. He said, where's your brother? His blood cries out to me. You know, these things, and then, I mean, we got to understand that this is you. Now, blood over intent, I'm not saying that anybody needs to write the same prayers or whatever you want to write down, whatever you want to do, but understand this is you dedicating whatever you want for mankind, though. Let's make sure we understand this. It's not something you do for personal gain. It's whatever you want to bring into this planet for mankind. This is what you do a blood over intent for, if that makes any sense. Like, for instance, my blood over intent was made basically I wanted the knowledge and I wanted the wisdom of this planet.
You can explain what...
I'm explaining, bro, mine is published on my YouTube. You're supposed to publish it. Show it to the world, because it's not something you do and you hide in your closet. If you do a blood over intent, you post it.
Okay, so what was your blood over intent?
Mine was, I wanted the wisdom and knowledge of the ages, mainly of this planet. Pretty much the wisdom of all. And the reason why I want this is so that I can free my brothers. And when I say my brothers, understand, I mean anybody who breathes the same blood as me, I breathe the same air as me, has the same color blood as me, is my brother. I don't care if your origination or your hybridization. If you were given the same breath of life as me, and you were my brother. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying everybody was given the same breath of life either. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So you still hear what I'm saying? It's not about race. It's not about species. It's not about that. You are my brother. We breathe that same breath. So understand, I pray that I can free all my brethren. Period. And I can bring about heaven on earth. That was my blood over intent. That's it. That's all.
And so, what's the process of going through a blood over intent?
Well, what I did was I wrote it out on a piece of paper, and I drew some symbols that resonated with me from doing years of research. I found a few symbols that I believe have significant spiritual meaning. I'm not gonna go get into these symbols as right now. That's a whole video really to get into that. But it's basically taken from the name Israel, or Israel as people like to call it. But I drew that and I wrote my blood over intent over it. And then the blood over intent was basically the letter, but it means nothing until you sign that with your blood, pretty much, right? Then I pricked the finger and I signed it with my blood. I pretty much put dots over it, whatever. I know, I'm not saying it's not a format that everybody has to follow the same way. Because if you ever Google it or look on the YouTube channel, everybody does their own. Everybody has, look, bro. Some people have numbers and grids and all type of stuff because it's about you.
But it's always blood involved.
It's always your blood. That's your identifier. That's your spiritual currency, bro. That's you.
Okay, now what God is this intent going to?
What God?
Yes.
You. When I say God, bro, understand, I believe, and I believe, bro, we are all God. Collectively, we're God. We're not gods because that denotes individualism. And individuality, to me, is an illusion. It's just a construct of this matrix that we're in. We are all one. You are my left arm. Why is my left arm so far away from my right arm? I have no idea. We're going to work that out through evolution or growing process or awakening, whatever you want to call it. But we are one. You know what I'm saying? And together we are God. And this blood over intent situation is something I believe that people are waking up. Okay. And on that level, if we think that it's not important, we think the blood is just blood, then why is everything based around it? Everything, bro. Look, we just go like everything in horror, everything in magic, everything in real shit. Even science, bro. We got to get to the DNA. You get what I'm saying?
That's in the blood.
The worst cancer in the world fucks up your ability to recreate blood.
Okay.
Blood is life, bro. It is, bro. Blood is the living representations of the living waters that we had before the flood. The living waters that used to mist the earth and feed everything before, because it didn't rain, because there was not a man that tilled the soil. That's in the Genesis. But that water fed everything, and once the flood happened, that water came, that external water came, it diluted the living waters. We still have sun, we call it dew. We just don't know we don't understand what it really is. That's why it only comes out at certain times. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that dew missed the ground, just like it says in Genesis. But then it was way more powerful. And then when you ate something, you were eating life. Now because of whatever happened, that dilution isn't it funny that dilution and the flow is called the deluge? I didn't make that up either. But when that happened, now to consume life, we eat life.
Okay. So take me back through the ritual.
But I'm saying, but that life is the blood, though. That's what that blood is.
I understand.
I'm just making sure everybody else did.
Take me back through the ritual. Who was the first person to do this?
The first person.
And how did it start?
How did it start? Let me see. The first person I saw do it was a guy named Quasi Luminous on YouTube. Actually, I think he's a creator of it, to be honest with you.
How
and he's a white guy, by the way.
How old is this ritual?
How old is it? I don't even know. I don't think it's that. I think, honestly, let me rephrase that. I think it's ancient, but I think the resurfacing of it is within the last couple years or so. I think the ritual itself is ancient. I think the ritual, is going on forever, bro. I think we just didn't understand it. I think the Bible speaks about it. I think the reason why you had to cover the door with back in Egypt, of course, during the Exodus, they had to cover their door with lamb's blood to protect themselves from death. That blood was important then. I think all of this, bro, blood over intent, is just a title we're calling some ancient science that we use for spiritual technologies.
I always recognize, I grew up in the church and all that. And I went to what's that? The Israeli God over there sometimes.
Pastor Bowie.
Yeah, Pastor Bowie.
My
From time
father
to time,
used to take me
I was with moms. We was back and forth between that church and some other churches.
My father used to take me out.
But anyway, I always noticed that the God of the Bible was into blood. And my question was, why is God so blood? Why does God want blood and everything? Why does He want sacrifices, blood sacrifices?
You know what I think?
Why does this? What's going on with that? So it's like, and then what's going on with that? So it's still, then it's this blood over intent thing. What's going on with this? Why is God in need of blood?
I think what we've been told about God needs blood. Understand?
But if you're doing the blood over intent,
Talk to me.
you giving blood.
Well, I think so. Yeah, we are. But are we giving the same blood? I mean, are we giving the blood to the same deity in like that Bible? Because I'm telling you, you're God. That Bible is saying something else is God.
Okay.
Understand, bro? Whatever's telling you that it's requiring blood, they're using your blood for blood over intent. They're just using it on a grand scheme. They just have more blood. They have gallons and gallons and millions of gallons behind their intent. And that's all it is. That's all, bro. When you hear about 9/11 and hear about how many people died in that building, you don't understand that somebody's intent was caused because of that amount of blood. And you don't think that somebody gained something from what they wanted from that? That was a massive blood over intent. But when you hear blood over intent, you think of it as something occultish and it's something we're just in the corner. No, they do it, bro. It's just now it's time for you to do it, bro. Free yourself with it. They've been doing it for ages. You think Pearl Harbor was an accident? Do you realize Pearl Harbor was no accident? I'm not saying that we did it, but there was somebody's blood over intent.
So you saying that you can use somebody else's blood?
What you think Quasi-Luminous is doing right now? Quasi-Luminous, every time he draws a person for blood over intent, when they add blood, they're not just doing their blood over intent, which they are, they're also adding their blood to his intent. When he says he has gallons of blood behind him, that's not just talking about his own. He's talking about everybody who words theirs blood over intent the same. That's why I made sure I was very specific in how I worded mine, because mine is still, it's not about going to Antarctica. I don't care about, I'm not saying that he's wrong about all that stuff. I'm just saying that I don't care about that, because in my mind, bro, I am here now. So my blood over intent was about knowledge, and my blood over intent was about being able to free my people's minds. I don't think we should try to free all of us from civilization and crumble, because that will hurt more people. I don't think that to win, someone else has to lose. But I think that the best way we can get in this world is to become self-sustainable, where you don't need the government. And I tell you what, the less you need the government, the better the government works for you. I know that sounds crazy. But if you live in an area where the mass of the people don't require food stamps, not trying to judge, just saying, are not requiring EBT and Link and all that from the government, and they're not asking the government to build their roads because they put their money in a pot and build their own fucking roads, do you know what? They have less enforcement. They ain't got no cameras in their shit, and when the city put up cameras, they can say, take that shit down.
It's their property.
It's their property. Because they're self-sustainable. I'm not saying to separate, because it helps the government if you become self-sustainable, because now that money that they've given you can go to actually doing some shit. You know, people use Link and public aid like a goal. Now, I know it's like I'm getting off the topic, but I'm not. This all has a meaning to this. People use Link and public aid or whatever like it's a goal, like it's a normal life. That's temporary to help you, right? That's all it's supposed to be. Just like this. It's temporary to help you, bro. That's all it's for. It's to help you. Understand, these stories that I put in here they all come from Egypt. But they're all given to you as a guiding key for the layman who doesn't understand that he's God. Of course, they put their twist in it over years to control you and control the masses. But the truth is, if you try to void yourself from all the bullshit, Jesus, everything else, not trying to judge, just saying. But if you take that away and you look at it, bro, it's a lot of tools in here for yourself. And I'm not saying that you should run to that, but understand if you have that around you, use those tools. And those tools, one of the major tools throughout the whole story is blood over intent. It's all about it. Now we can sit here and think about it, but understand, a blood over intent is you removing yourself from spiritual link and standing on your own ground. And I guarantee the universe bends to your will when you're standing on your own. When you stand, I'm not saying stand on your own is separating from the collective. I'm saying once you realize that you don't have to go, hey, can you help me? Do you realize every time you pray, the outcome more than likely that happened was gonna happen regardless?
Right.
Gee, somebody said this. Somebody said, oh my God, by the grace of God, I got this job. Bitch, you got a PhD. You filled out, you have an awesome resume. You have experience, never been to jail. You're black, which is important at this company, but you got the job by the grace of God. I'm gonna agree with you because you are God. You got the job by the grace of you. But if you can't even weed that, you can't separate from that, you can't even understand what blood over intent is. Blood over intent frees your mind, it frees your spirit from somebody else's control. The Pope has your soul right now. Believe it or not, when you look at a birth certificate, what's on there?
What do you mean?
What's on there? The soles of your feet. Now I think we're gonna look at it and say it's spelled wrong, but when you say it, look, the Bible says in the beginning there was a word, and the word was God, and the word was God. It does not say the letters, it says the word. So when you hear soul, the vibration did not change. The sound did not change. The soles of your baby's feet, of your feet, are owned by the Vatican, are registered in the US but owned by the Vatican. So understand that blood over intent is already there. It's done. Your soul is already being controlled, auctioned off, sold, traded, bro. Blood over intent is you grabbing your shit back because you didn't agree to that.
So if you saying that I'm God,
you God,
then can I change the rule?
Can you change the rules? What do you mean when I say change the rule? When you say change the rule,
do I have to bleed?
Do you have to bleed
to make my blood over intent? Do it have to be that?
If you want it to be a blood over intent, you got to. I mean, otherwise it's just an intent. And I'm not saying your intent is weak. I'm not saying your intent isn't enough.
Okay.
Bro, I'm not saying any of this is even necessary.
Okay.
Understand, from my blood over intent, I learned that I never had to do a blood over intent. It taught me, like not it, but the process and growing and researching and learning. I'm not gonna lie to you, out of years of learning, the research, I did that. And from sun gazing and being involved with this, I'm not gonna lie, it started to reorganize.
Okay.
And I saw it differently. So the knowledge I had didn't change my eyes that saw it change. And that change let me realize that I've always been God. How long? Forever. When when did I start being God? Right now. What was I yesterday? I ain't never experienced yesterday. I've always been today. So you get what I'm saying? We just gotta open our eyes and understand that. And the thing is, this was nothing else but the same thing as that Bible. Another person's tool to channel your intent and your will to help you understand. Jesus tried to teach you another way when he told you that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell a tree to uproot itself and it will, all that type of stuff. You can move mountains. Understand, that's the same thing. Your intent, your will.
Right.
And these are all tools of channeling that. But really, you are all that's important. If you come to understand that you are here now and you embrace that, and I know it sounds simple, but it's really huge and monumental. When you really embrace that, then you understand that you are all you ever need. I'm not saying the blood over intent was negative. I think it greatly impacted my life, and I'm glad that I did it because sometimes eyes need to be open. And it also helped me get past this superstitious thing. I was so superstitious, bro. I promise you. I believed in voodoo. I'm not saying nothing is not real. I'm just saying I was afraid of everything, bro. But once I did this, I learned something. That my soul is mine. And I don't give a fuck how strong any force outside of me, whether it be good, bad, whatever you want to call that, high frequency, low frequency, pleasant, unpleasant, whatever you want to title it, a spirit, demon, whatever. You are not more powerful than me. You thought you were, and I thought you were, and that's what gave you power. But I am God. In the same moment that you realize that you are God, and in a moment that we all realize, not just black people, even though I would prefer that we all realize it a little sooner, we need a one-up. It's time we got a head start. But once we woke up and realized that we are God, you imagine the power to change the world.
Right. When you say that you used to be superstitious.
I was superstitious fuck like most black people, bro.
But wait a minute now. When you consider that, when you think about the ancient stories of Europeans, they was into this type of magic type of stuff. They was doing the blood, drinking blood type of stuff. They was doing all the witchcraft.
Trying to consume. They were just blood over.
And well now they in control of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you argue with results, right?
I can't argue with results.
So
I'm not talking about that.
They still doing magic. Like seriously, if they believed in these gods, they believed in all of this shit, and it worked for them. Like almost to the point to where, like even now, when they pray for Trump.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it works.
It worked for them. And it worked for them.
It works
right?
perfectly.
You
Even prayer does work. You know why prayer works though? The only reason why prayer works is because you channeled your will.
But I'm saying, so when they got these results, is there something to this shit? Is there something to this?
It is, bro.
Shit?
It is, bro. It's not superstitious. See, that's not superstitious. That's spiritual science. We gotta understand there's a difference. Step on a crack and break your mama's back is superstition. That's what I mean when I'm talking about superstition. When I say demons and spirits, I believe in all that. I believe in other dimensions. I believe that other multi-dimensional beings. I believe in other frequency energies and spirits. But at the same time, I believe that none of that has any effect on us unless you allow it to. I'm not saying that fear is what it is, but fear is what it is because at the same time, because I'm not saying being afraid of something or not noticing there's a very real danger somewhere is bad. Noticing that there's a danger is good. That's how you stay alive. Mm-hmm. But to have fear is to not know that you are God.
Right.
Even if you fear death, because death is a real thing. Death is very real.
Right.
But if you are God, then even this physical death is a transition. So why fear it? It's a natural transition that's gonna happen, regardless of who you are. So why fear it in any fashion?
Do you think people are afraid of death or how they're gonna die?
I think people are afraid of all of it. Both. It's more the unknown than anything else. More the unknown. And then I believe that Christianity puts so much fear in you with heaven and hell that now you got so much on you. You're afraid of that. You're afraid of every decision you never made. When real life, most of your decisions were just that, decisions.
I think when I was a shorty and I was in the streets and all of that, I think I was more worried about how I was gonna die versus being afraid to die.
You're right. I wasn't ever afraid to die. I didn't even care about how though, bro. I just didn't want to survive paralyzed or be handicapped. That's all I was afraid of. I was so afraid that, bro. Like I'm not saying like to make fun, bro. I used to look at people, bro. They used to come out in their wheelchairs, bro. Still had rocked off to the left with a bang on them. And at first, I used to talk shit in my mind. I wouldn't say it out loud. Never. You get your ass beat for that. But in my mind, I'd be like, shit pathetic. This motherfucker is in his wheelchair now for a gang. Mm-hmm. But then as I look at it, as I got older, I look at that and say, it's not that he got shot for this gang. It's he got shot for a set of beliefs that he had. Mm-hmm. And he still holds those beliefs past this injury, past this unfortunate thing that happened to him, or whatever unfortunate things he's caused other people. He believes in his principles, whatever they are. He believes in those.
And it worked like that on every level.
Most of us will not die for our principles, bro. Right now, we can say fuck anybody in the world. We can say we'll die for mine. I won't let you touch my woman. But when a police officer is treating her rough, we gonna, baby, calm down.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? It worked like that when we talk about soldiers.
True.
They get shot, paralyzed, come home, still be goddamn patriots. And then the VA
no difference.
Treat them right.
No difference.
So it's no difference.
But the block treats you better than the VA. At least the bros say, at least the bros blow one with you, holler at you, man. At least can't nobody say shit to you. Tell me if I'm lying. If you in a club and one of the, I don't care if you into it with the BDs right now, whatever. One of the BDs coming that motherfucker in a wheelchair, bet you ain't gonna say nothing to him.
Nah, everybody gonna respect him, man.
Everybody gonna respect that, man. What up, bro? Even if it was one of your guys, what's up, bro? My bad, Joe. Or you ain't gonna say my bad because like, you don't want no parts of that. What's up with it, Joe? You gonna speak. Right. You might even buy the nigga a drink and move on. You bump it to the nigga, you gonna apologize. Cause that's a motherfucker who got put in that position for some principles that he felt and he's still in that shit, G. You fear that. and we fear that in people. We pay attention. I mean, I'm not saying fear like I'm a man, I'm a pussy. I'm saying like you don't want to fuck with people like that you know that's gonna take that for their principles, and we don't have enough of that. I'm not saying we should be out here violently fighting, but I'm saying that you could take a bullet for your principle, but you can't take a study. You can't take a study session.
Imagine though if that was like directed though in the right way though.
Right, and like I'm saying, you could take a bullet for your principles, but you can't take a long study set, like a long study course.
Right.
You can't take an online course in something. You can't learn how to better yourself. I'm not saying go to school and become an system. I'm saying to learn the avenue that you want to pursue and pursue that and grow in that. That takes just as much balls. That takes just as much heart, if not more. Because more times you got to deal with the word no. When you got a gun, you don't got to deal with the word no a whole lot.
You said the gun gonna change everything.
You get what I'm saying? So we got to look at different levels of strength. They both strong as fuck, but one is focused and the other is not. One has a set of his beliefs are strong and it's a strong structure, but where he sits in this world isn't. That's not focused, and that's why the unfortunate happens.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But you know, and so you still got that mindset though, and like you said, we need more people who got them principles that they willing to die for.
Absolutely.
Have some integrity for. You know what I mean? And we definitely ain't got none of that because they you know, I was talking to somebody about the term for each their own, and I was saying how it sounds really good, and it really is a really good idea to mind your own business. You know what I mean? But
if we are one,
when you talk about community, that to each his own is a cancer to that. You know what I mean? Because you can't. It just really is. It's a cancer to the community. You can't say to each their own. Hell, you gotta show up for your neighbor. You know what I mean? For your brother or whatever. You
gotta know when to weigh in. You gotta know when. It takes judgment too. You gotta know when to weigh in.
You gotta have discernment. You gotta have discernment.
You got to. But most people don't. Most people don't. That's what I'm saying. Most people, if they in your shit, they in your shit, or they out your shit.
And for the most part, when they hear that to each their own,
right,
they out your shit.
Exactly.
They don't want to deal with nothing.
What they do? They always go, all right. That's what they say. Like they say, all right, brother, you got it.
They don't want to help no way.
Right. That's real. That's real.
Excuse. To get out, and black folk need to stop talking like that. We need to step in if you need to step in. Especially, you gotta be a discernment. You gotta have a discernment.
But the thing is, here's the thing: black people. Let's be real. Now, I'm not judging all black people, but for the ones I've met, let's put it that way. The majority of them, don't step in because they feel like, motherfucker ain't gonna help me. That's one.
But that's horrible.
True. I'm not saying this. I'm not validating it. I'm saying that, and then two. You feel like when you step into somebody's shit, bro, a lot of times I notice motherfuckers go at the motherfucker that is trying to help.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. I'm not, you get what I'm saying? And then the next is that one that feel like it's not his responsibility at all. I hate that when they say that's another man, bro. He a man, bro. What does that mean? He a man, bro.
He don't need no help. That's some bullshit. He need more help than anybody.
He a man. He a man, bro. We all need help, bro. We all need help, bro. We all need help, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got another thing, and then the last one, the one I dislike the most is the one that I'm not getting nothing out of it. Yeah. What I get for help.
That's horrible, man. And that's the nature of the community, and that's why it's like it is. Because that's where we at with it. And you know what I mean? I don't know how healthy that is. You know?
Healthy shit. It's a sickness, bro. It's virus. It's a virus. It's not something that we learn from our own people. And I'm not blaming white people for everything. But I'm saying that I'm blaming them from everything. But it's just a different level though. It's just not, I'm not saying this was directly. This is not something I believe was intentional. Mm-hmm. I believe that when you live in an oppressive state, and like when I say state, I mean state of being. Mm-hmm. When you live in that state of being, bro, and it's to the point to where if he just speak up for himself, he getting killed. What's gonna happen if I speak up for him too? And that goes towards you start teaching people to keep their mouth shut. Yeah. The kids to step back.
And I noticed that, and it's definitely stuck with us, and it's still because other people will say to each their own, but when they dealing with their community, they all in.
Exactly.
They all in.
But you're afraid though.
And you know what? And when you deal with even if you deal with the vote, right? With the white women voting for Trump, right? And how they supposed to been all this, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When it came to that real shit, they all in.
Yeah, they are.
They all in, man. Fuck that.
They are.
Trump is man, and I ain't mad at that. You know what I mean? I don't hate Trump, but I don't hate Trump. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, look, that's what it is, though. They was all in when they was expected to be on Hillary's team. Yeah, you know what I mean, just on the fact that they, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't with that. So that's how it is, and all groups do that though. They, and we just not really like that, and that's, you know.
Bro, I don't think it's still. We taking it as a group thing, bro, and we making it a collective problem, bro. But it's the individuality that's the issue.
Yeah, the individual need to think better.
Well, I'm saying we need to understand.
On the group.
But what I mean by individuality is that we need to all understand that we're not one. I mean that we're not just one separate island. We are all one. So meaning that, bro, if I'm at KFC's and I see this person giving this person a hard time, it doesn't matter if this is a black employee giving a black customer a hard time. We see she foul. But we gonna sit here and let this lady or whatever it is sit here and get aggravated until it blow up, and nobody spoke up for her. I don't do that. I don't do that shit. I promise you, I'll be right there like, excuse me, she's a customer, man.
If you have questions that you would like to ask the streets, contact us at askthestreetsmedia@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.